Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Terra Adventure Podcast. Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film, presented by my Morphin Megaverse Power Rangers Facebook group. So tonight, one of you guys are listening to me ramble about this for about, 20 minutes. I want to talk about some recent developments that have happened. At the time I'm also recording this video, I am now in production on my new Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film at the moment, but I do want to put out something real quick before I go back doing what I was doing with the project. Yes, I have heard of the rumored title of the 30th anniversary season of Power Rangers in the form of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, which had happened not so long ago, by the time June was up. And I do want to talk about what Sentai's in particular would be that 30th anniversary season of Power Rangers. To be precise, I essentially have not been following Dino Fury, and getting to know what was going on. Aside from our first female Green Ranger being our first also LGBTQ Power Ranger out of Izzy Garcia and all, but I really have not been watching Dino Fury so I can get excited for what the 30th anniversary season, because, well, to be honest and frank, I had pretty much wanted to keep Dino Fury in the background because I'm busy with my thing that I should be more important of. But I also want to talk about some Super Sentai stuff and related, because it's been a while since I last talked about anything Super Sentai related on this channel, when I'm supposed to focus on the more American side of things with Power Rangers. But on the Japanese thing, and with the Hasbro Toei stuff still in effect about the whole what they're going to do with the new showrunners, since old showrunners like Judd Lin is out, and we got these new people running Power Rangers like Simon Bennett and that Jonathan Essenwhistle guy, and that new lady they got that's working on with Essenwhistle on that Netflix Power Rangers universe reboot thing they're doing once Dino Fury is up and done. But honestly, I do want to talk about what Sentai's I potentially would like to see as the 30th anniversary season before they said they're going to do what they said they're going to do, based on what's true and official or so by what the Illuminati said 2 summers ago around this month. And now it's been officially encompassed 2 years since the Illuminati reported about after Dino Fury there will be that Hasbro Toei splits thing with Power Rangers after Dino Fury. And I know that a lot of people have heard what I had to say to the Illuminati about where did they get this report from, where did someone from Hasbro say they're going to do what they said they're going to do after Dino Fury, and when Beast Morphers was done, and when Dino Fury was given the green lit. So I wasn't really sure whether if they should do one more Sentai adaptation before they said they're going to do like an animated Power Rangers, that Netflix cinematic universe thing, and I just wasn't sure whether if they should or should not adapt no more Sentai. Now, to be frank, a lot of the majority of the Sentai shows in between the counterparts for Megaforce, Super Megaforce, and the others, they have in fact been pretty tricky to do, because I felt like I can tell from the instinct in my gut back during Super Megaforce and when we had already had Dino Charge and so forth, that I think that the Sentais after Gokaiger were going to be very tricky to do for Power Rangers, since after all Power Rangers had been very behind, every 2 years behind from Sentai, because if Disney never canceled Power Rangers after RPM, we wouldn't even be in this dreadful mess that we're in with the whole being 2 to 3 to 4 years behind from Sentai regime and such. And I feel like, well, I guess Disney was doing a major disservice for Power Rangers, and I think they should have never had the franchise be this behind with adaptations of Super Sentai. And that's exactly what went wrong with things, and why I wish that if the show would be more ahead of Sentai, like we were doing normally before before and after Disney canceled the series initially, and then Saban got it back, and you know, the show on Nickelodeon with Samurai and so forth until Hasbro took over by the end of Super Ninja Steel, and then beginning Beast Morphers until the end of Dino Fury Season 1 on Nickelodeon, and then Netflix with exclusively Season 2 of Dino Fury going forward. Because I think, although while I'm not watching Dino Fury at the moment, I do have a bad feeling that Dino Fury is the end of this long-running incarnation of Power Rangers that has traditionally been adapting Super Sentai content and material for the last nearly 30 years. Hence why, starting with Season 30 of Power Rangers, wow, 30 years of this franchise, that is very impressive. But to be honest though, by the 30th season next year, they're likely going to, based on what they said, like they're going to do their own original suit designs and Zords and monsters and stuff with bearing any resemblance of Super Sentai suits and costumes, Morphers, Megazords and stuff from those shows for Power Rangers to also adapt. Because a lot of the majority of those seasons that I'm mentioning will likely never make it to the show ever at all. Because when you think about it, now we finally did get to adapt Kyuryoger, Go Buster, Ninja, and Rue Soldier for Power Rangers, Dino Charge, Ninja Steel, Beast Morphers, and Dino Fury. But for the following Super Sentai shows of Tokyuger, Zooger, Q-Ranger, Lupin vs. Pato Ranger, Cure Major, and the more recent Zenkaiger. Now, Dawn Brothers, now be advised that Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers is currently airing at this time, so them adapting and trademarking that for Season 30 is not going to cut it. Now, if anything, if I would like to see Season 30 of Power Rangers, would be, well, I hope if they ever do Season 30, well, it feels like they're going to do a much smaller season because they're focusing on that reboot thing. I have a feeling that Season 30, given the title of Cosmic Fury, would be none other than a Q-Ranger adaptation. Because, well, man, 3 years procrastinating, and I should have used those Q-Ranger Zords for my third and final fan film thing of that initial Lost Galaxy thing I was doing for so long. But now that the actual Power Ranger series will likely do Q-Ranger, but according to the new showrunner of the show, Simon Bennett, when Power Ranger fans back during Dino Fury's first season last year, when they were going around harassing Simon Bennett, okay, for fans out there that was harassing him, please stop, because we know that we're very behind on Sentai. If they're not going to adapt this Sentai or that Sentai, please do not harass the showrunner about it. Otherwise, the showrunner will block and ban you from his or her social media for that. Because they're going to get really irritated and annoyed. Just like how Linkara with his History of Power Rangers, if you ask Linkara when is his next History of Power Rangers and what season and stuff. Don't do that. Please, just stop. Seriously. And I think for the last 12 years I've been in the fan base, I've dealt with a bunch of Power Ranger fans that have been acting like complete immature, spoiled brat of children, but as grown-ass men and women harassing showrunners and stuff about just stop, people, just stop. Anyway, but yeah, Simon Bennett, with his regard on Uchu Sentai Q-Ranger, hence the Sentai team featured in the video on, in front of a certain lens flare background. He stated about Q-Ranger not being adaptable for the 30th anniversary or so of Power Rangers after Dino Fury, but given the title Cosmic Fury, well, since Cosmic is more of a space-oriented related term and word, it would make sense they should do Q-Ranger, or maybe they should not do Q-Ranger, because yeah, look at the main roster of Rangers. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 Rangers. Well, the 13th if you count the Red Ranger and his white power-up form that he had, Lucky, Shishi Red, and his power-up form with the white cape and such, if you've seen the Sentai. And yes, I have seen Q Ranger. I actually gave that Sentai a chance. You know, out of all of the Super Sentai shows of the last decade, I actually finally got to sit down and watch Q Ranger. I'll likely do a retrospective on that season when I get around it, if I have time. And honestly, Q Ranger was actually pretty good, although with the ever amount of focus on those multiple characters, it kind of can get a little befuddling on what characters should we focus on. Since Q Ranger focused on so many rangers and villains, it was hard to see who's the main focused character. But I still like the series because of the ranger suits, the Zords, especially the Zords, you know, the Voyagers that they had. Like the Lion Voyager, the Chameleon Voyager, the Eagle Voyager, the Aquila Voyager, and the, you know, Wolf Voyager and such like that. But honestly, Q Ranger, I feel like would likely work for Power Rangers. Like I said before, like back when I did do a video talking about back in 2018, 4 years ago, if Q Ranger ever had a Power Rangers adaptation. But even though a lot of Power Ranger fans want Q Ranger, I do too, but to be honest though, Q Ranger will be more trickier to do, just like Q Ryuger was for Dino Charge over with Saban Brands when they did Dino Charge. Because Dino Charge, now with Dino Charge it made sense, because the first season, when you go back to Dino Charge's 2 seasons, the first season focused on the main 6 Rangers: red, pink, blue, green, black, and gold. But you did have the 2 purples, and well, even though 1 purple was just a one-off, and the second would be the remainder of the group, and the Graphite Ranger. While the second season focused on our last 2 Dino Charge Rangers. Although I'm still peeved and pissed that Heckle never did become that Dino Charge Talon Ranger, Dark Ranger. But he would eventually in the Beyond the Grid comic and Boom Studios Power Rangers comic continuity, and be the Dino Charge Dark Ranger in the Legacy War game. With Dino Charge, it worked, because Dino Charge at least had 10 Rangers in total within the 2 seasons, although the first season focused on the main 6. And then the second season would focus on the other Rangers with the main 6. So if they do Q Ranger for 2 years of Power Rangers, although Q Ranger was not an anniversary season, I could see Q Ranger, once again, you know, as much as I'm still not a big fan of the whole every 2 season thing with Power Rangers, and I think even with Netflix with that, because since Power Rangers, thank God, is not on Nickelodeon anymore, I could see them only focus on at least 6 of the Rangers. Like, you know, you don't have to, but what I also noticed with the Hasbro era, I've noticed in Dino Fury and Beast Morphers, they have not been using a lot of Sentai footage. They've been doing their own stuff. So maybe what they would do, if they're going to Americanize Q Ranger for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, they would likely focus on the main 6 Rangers, like the Red Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Green Ranger, Black, Yellow, Pink, in a way, since Pink is like a secondary bottom class Ranger this time around, like in the Sentai, because the main 6 Rangers of Hammy, Champ, you know, Lucky, Spada, and Garu in Q Ranger, they were like the main 5 Rangers they focused on before we had the other 4 with Raptor and Balance and, yeah, them guys, Naga and them, and even what's his name, the Scorpion Ranger. And then they also had the Kid Ranger, what's his name, and then also Rue Commander, you know, the head of the Q Rangers. But, you know, since if they're going to call Season 30 Cosmic Fury, I guess it makes sense to do Q Ranger, because Q Ranger is heavily space themed, but they also had some stuff happen on Earth at the same time, things like up in space. Because, you know, for Power Rangers, if they do adapt a series, you know, again, well, SPD may have had the title of Space Patrol Delta, but SPD never hardly ever went to space. The only time they went up into space was like twice, if you count back in the SWAT 2-parter, and when the SPD Rangers took the SWAT Megazord and destroyed the Meteor. But, and yeah, of course you had Emperor Grum and his Trubian Empire, you know, terrorizing Earth on, you know, in the year 2025 or so, because, well, that was SPD. But actually the real last Power Ranger series before SPD that was space themed, heavily space themed, was of course Lost Galaxy, because Lost Galaxy was a space colony series. But if they did Cosmic Fury like a sequel series to Lost Galaxy or In Space or SPD, but with animal constellated Voyager themed Zords and stuff, yeah, they can go for it. But since Lost Galaxy was space themed with animals, common sense Cosmic Fury would be like Lost Galaxy, which has animals and a space theme. Because when you think about it, Lost Galaxy, while its Sentai counterpart was nature and fairy tale themed and anything else with animals and hardly any space elements, but they made it creatively work with Lost Galaxy. Why do you think Lost Galaxy was massively successful with doing something completely different from the Sentai? But they still had the suits and stuff, even if some things from them adapting what was in Ginga Man for Lost Galaxy may not make sense, but they tried to make, but at least they worked around that stuff. Or what they could do with with Cosmic Fury is, instead of probably likely adapting Q Ranger, there have been potential plans with the title Cosmic that they should likely adapt for the 30th season. Because again, there's other Sentais that they need to focus on that came out recently. I don't know whether if they should do the 30th anniversary season as a hybrid season, much like Megaforce was. Where they took Go Sager and Go Kaiger, but we know how we felt with Megaforce as in its final product. But if they do season 30 of Power Rangers, I would see it as a hybrid season. Well, I would say, okay, well, the more recent anniversary season of Zenkaiger, although I have not seen it yet, had elements that was in both Super Sentai and Power Rangers that could work for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. You can just take the 4 Zord-themed Rangers that was with the main Zenkaiger character and bring that over for Cosmic Fury. But they would also adapt a Sentai that was right before Zenkaiger, Kira Major. Because Kira Major, I would like to see adapted into Power Rangers, and to the fact although since Dino Fury already has a female Green Ranger, while Q Ranger and Kira Major both have female members in green, they can repeat the formula with Izzy if they like. And also the fact that the Yellow Ranger and Blue Rangers in Kira Major are male, they can do that too. And the 6th Ranger is like orange and white and all that. Because I could hardly see them do some, hybriding the two Sentais, take some elements of Zenkaiger and pretty much make this as a do-over of Megaforce, where you should have took the Sentai that was not an anniversary season, but hybrid elements of that anniversary season to be the big 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. I know Ninja Steel did this in a way too, but Ninja Steel was not the 25th anniversary. Ninja was not an anniversary Sentai, but it somewhat acted in a way when really Zyuohger was the real 40th anniversary of Super Sentai. Because given the fact 2016 was Super Sentai's 40th anniversary. And I think some of the and that's why I was like, some of the aspects of Ninja Steel took some elements of Zyuohger. Because when you think back to Zyuohger, the Zyuohger villains, the Dev Galians, had that intergalactic game show concept for the Ninja Steel villains to take. So maybe they should, or some people would like to see Zyuohger, but due to the fact that Minecraft is still a popular video game, but it's not that much of a fad anymore. But it's still out there. But Zyuohger, I guess, could work for the 30th anniversary, despite I haven't watched all of Zyuohger. Since Zyuohger, when I think about those designs of those suits, mostly the boots and gloves and the helmets, they did remind me of the Lost Galaxy Ginga Man helmets, and even the Wild Force Gal Ranger helmets. But the boots and gloves of the Zyuohgers did have that zigzag around the boots and gloves thing, like the Ginga Man and Lost Galaxy Rangers had. But even though I don't really like the overall animal tattoo graphic on the front of the chest of the suits, though, from the Zoogers, but maybe that could work. I mean, who knows? But all I know is I just hope that if they ever do adapt any of these Sentais for Power Rangers before they do that reboot and that Power Rangers Netflix Cinematic Universe thing that they said they were working on for a while, I hope they do something, because it's either no Sentai adaptation or just straight up nothing, you know? Because I really do want to see them adapt either okay, if Q Ranger ain't going to work based on what Simon Bennett said, like, if you're not going to adapt Q Ranger because, you know, the large roster of Rangers, then just take Cure Major or Zoojer or Zenkaiger as your your remaining. Now, Lupat, unfortunately, won't work as Cosmic Fury because, you know, given the fact that Simon Bennett told fans about why Lupin Ranger and Pato Ranger will never work as Power Rangers, because given the recent political climate with law enforcement and what was going on since 2020, so therefore we're not doing Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger, unfortunately, sadly. But yet we can get away with Time Ranger and Deca Ranger being made as SPD and Time Force respectively, but it's just Lupin Ranger and versus Pato Ranger will just never work, so it's best to leave that completely unadapted. I don't think there's not really anything cosmic about that Sentai, so therefore they're out of the question. So it's either Zoojer, Q Ranger, Cure Major, or Zenkaiger. Or you can throw all four of those Sentais in the one and make it as Cosmic Fury or something. I don't know, because we just don't know whether if it's going to work or not. So that's all I'm saying, because I think the potential of the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, you know, take a Sentai that's not an anniversary season and just roll with it. And even if they said they were going to do it as a shorter mini season before the reboot thing, because I feel like Dino Fury is the bookend of this traditional way of Power Rangers that I've known for so long, and as we all known for so long. But the main purpose of Power Rangers was to adapt Super Sentai, but without Sentai, Power Rangers, like we've been saying for the last 2 years, thanks to the Illuminati and their reporting of this. But though, when I said what I said, is that without Sentai, there wouldn't be no Power Rangers. And without Power Rangers, the fan base wouldn't be where it is. And, you know, I get that they want to change the way how Power Rangers have been for the last 30 years, because Hasbro, knowing their track record, they're better with animated versions of the respective properties like Transformers and G.I. Joe and My Little Pony. They're just never great with their live-action productions. And you know how Hasbro was with the live-action G.I. Joe and Transformers movies. So, therefore, I feel like, you know, Dino Fury and whatever this 30th anniversary Cosmic Fury season is, before the reboot, this is likely going to be like the end of how we've been doing Power Rangers for so long, is all I'm saying. You know, I wish I would talk more, but I feel like maybe the next time I'll talk about what if I would have done Q Ranger or any of those Sentais for Power Rangers. So for the time being, that's what I have to say about that, and my 2 cents on that, you know, 99 cents on that, if you will. So let me know what you guys think about what I said and so forth. What Sentai would you really like to see as Cosmic Fury? I mean, would it be like Q Ranger, Cure Major, whatever? Let me know in the comments, because I want to hear what you guys think about this, because we know everybody's going to say, because given Cosmic is, again, a space term, so it would have to be a Q Ranger adaptation. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, guys, that's it, and I'm all for now. I gotta get back to doing what I have to do. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and Terra Ventures Conference Hall is now closed. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.